especially white people, say, I'm just not really interested in race. Like, I don't want to talk about it. It doesn't affect me, so I don't really want to. Why should I have to deal with it? Why should I have to take a class on diversity? Why should I have to learn about these issues when it doesn't affect me? Like, I don't care. I don't care. I got my own shit to worry about. How do you deal with it? That you have clothing made by slaves.
Like, somebody just asked you, how do you feel about having clothing made by slaves?
These are young girls in Bangladesh. This is them 12 to 14 hours a day, and then one more. These are young. We talked. Mira is from Addis Ababa. Remember from last class, one of our camera ops, and these are young girls in Addis Ababa making clothes. And so. Okay, so how is that? Like, your wardrobe, bro, like...
Now, I have to be honest, this is going to be a multifaceted answer, but if I were to talk with my friends and family back in Philly, I'm probably going to get a joke, something like, yeah, but... It's going to start with maybe something like, yeah, but we're still trying to get our reparations, I mean?
What?
Something like that. Or, that John's crazy and everything, but what about the life we're trying to live? Everyone always brings it back to how we are, and personally, as I've been sitting here and thinking about it, it's one of those things where it really depends on the type of person you are, and for me at least, I think although there are a lot of people in a less fortunate situation than I am, what I owe to them is that I'm going to use my platform and my opportunity to drive as much change as I can in the lifestyle that I have and into my community. Because personally, it's like, although Philadelphia, most black people, most minorities in Philadelphia are not nearly on the same spectrum as people in Haiti and other countries, what I feel like I can do in my life is at least empower them within this community.
What?
And that's the kind of mindset that I feel like is going to drive that growth. So when it comes down to it, having those conversations, you can only go but so far in terms of like the people you're talking to. Much of my family and friends, they're going to be like, yeah, man, that's cool and all, but how does that pertain to me? Like, how?
So, if you show a picture or video of little girls in Haiti working 14 hours a day to make hoodies and shirts, you think your community will say, yeah, that's nice, but what does that have to do with me? What does that have to do with my struggles? I would hope they wouldn't say that. And the reason I paused this is because he's talking about empowering people to, I guess, make a change or get to a level where they can make a change. But when I hear that, it just kind of irritates me because, and no offense to him or the class, it just kind of irritates me because when I consider the little girls or the young kids in different countries who are forced to work 14 hours a day to make clothes or phones or candy or whatever, they literally do not have the opportunity to make a change. Like, you're talking about real opportunity, they do not have it. It don't exist. And of course, in America, some people have more opportunity than others. But one thing we all have, like, it's a right here, is opportunity. And that doesn't exist everywhere. So if you bring up these issues where they really do not have opportunity, and your friend or family says, yeah, but what about me? What about my struggles? Then you need to get some new friends and family, man, because everyone in this country has an opportunity to achieve something great. And if you hear something about other countries and you're still worried about your little struggles compared to them, you're not, no wonder you're in the position you're in. That's all I'm going to say.
How am I going to do that? It's really hard once you have a sort of level set that's already in place.
So, therefore, when people, especially white people, say, I'm just not really interested in race. Like, I don't want to talk about it. It doesn't affect me, so I don't really want to. Why should I have to deal with it? Why should I have to take a class on diversity? Why should I have to learn about these issues when it doesn't affect me? Like, I don't care. I don't care. I got my own shit to worry about. So you understand that.
It's the same thing, like, in Philly, we're one of, like, 14 cities in the country that we mandate African-American history. And there's even black people who are like, man, why am I learning African American history? I'm black.
Yeah.
What do I need that for?
Yeah. I already know enough. That's what I hear that sometimes from black people about Social 119. Like, oh, I took Social 119, I didn't learn anything. I'm like, really? You didn't learn anything? So I'll hire you then to teach the class for me next semester, because clearly you know it all. Got it? Dio, and then Ernsto, I want to come back to you. I want to see what you think about these responses. How do you deal with it? That you have clothing made by slaves.
So,
You have all sorts of products made by slaves.
You know, we live in a world where, like you were just
No, hang
saying.
on,
We live in a world. Like, somebody just asked you, how do you feel about having clothing made by slaves? And you start the sentence off with, we live in a world. I'm not trying to go on him, but that's just kind of funny. Like, the way you started that off. It's like you're trying to justify it. And I know he didn't say nothing yet, but it's just hilarious how that's like the phrase he started it with. Like, we live in a world where some people have opportunity and some don't. And I get to wear the clothes and they gotta make it. Like, not trying to, all jokes aside, it's hilarious how we have so much privilege, and then when it's brought to us by, for example, this professor, like, he's like, yeah, you're wearing clothes made by slaves. How do you feel about that? And we have all this privilege, and it's like we're dissociating ourselves from our privilege all the time, that when it's brought to us, we can't even, like, deal with it in a way. Hey, y'all, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe.
I live in a world.
Sorry.
Talk about you. How do you
Okay.
manage this?
Okay. Well, I was getting there.
All right,
But,
all right.
just like you were saying, it's
No,
really,
the reason I'm going to cut you off one more time. The reason I did that is because too often we philosophize as a way to not have to wrestle with the things that we really need.
I just said that. Like, you dissociate. Hey, this professor, man.
Good for us to wrestle with. So I'm saying, no, just wrestle, man. Go inward and wrestle. Go ahead.
Okay. In that case, my answer is I really don't even begin to know how to deal with this.
Okay.
Like, it's because it's something I don't think about, and it's something that, like, people around me don't really think about. You know what I mean? It's like most of us, I don't have reason to think about these things we're given. Like, oh, here's a phone. You don't think about where the phone comes from. You just have a phone.
And then you don't want to, because if
Yeah.
you want to, if you
Right,
find out,
that
it's
too.
going to be a problem.
Yeah, it's upsetting. And so this class has gotten me to think a bit more about it. But at the same time, you also get into a question of, like, how do you even avoid these things? Because it's so commonplace, which is awful. Like, I'm not saying that's the right way to think about things.
Yeah.
But-
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that. I love all three of your answers.
I like what he said. We don't think about these things because how can we deal with these things? Like, what are we supposed to do? Like, it's nothing we can do. But I don't think that's the right way to say it. I think what you really want to say is, yeah, I just don't care enough to think about it. Like, of course my phone could be made here, but I need my phone, so I just need it. I'm not going to give up my phone to fight this cause, because my fight for this cause probably won't even be enough to get what needs to be done out of it. And that's an okay response. We always try to sugarcoat things, try to paint things in an image that leave us as, like, good people. But it's just funny that we have students here who obviously, are extremely intelligent. I think they're this typical intelligent student. You got into Penn State, you got to be pretty smart. But it's like when you're introduced to these type of issues, you've been fighting so long as a student for, like, equality within the United States. But then when a professor tells you, like, okay, what about other places? You're like, I just can't think about it. Like, oh, it just doesn't cross my mind. But okay, what if somebody is here, for example, you say white privilege. What if a white person doesn't think about it? What if they have their day-to-day issues? What if they're fighting how to pay their bills and they're trying to get their kids in school? What if they just don't think about the things you're fighting for? But that's different, but this isn't? That's all I'm trying to say.
Right? That my job, I don't have an answer. My job is to wrestle. if you're not wrestling with it, I mean, I just happen to wrestle with it every day. It's just part of what I do. When I'm with Ernso, that's all we do is wrestle with it, right? Hey, Ernso, can we? I want to introduce them. So are we good here? We're in the we've wrestled now. We're good. Now you can think about it. It's like Thon. You know, it's like it's a similar thing as Thon, right? You just, you can't help every child and every family that has cancer, but you're going to help some. And so that's why we have Thon. And Thon's an awesome thing because you get to help some. And this is what it is. So we get a feel for that. And so
the students are literally on their phones right now. Like, it's funny. He's talking about children making the phones and like making it. And we have a class full of children who are extremely intelligent, who would probably fight these causes if it was an American issue. These are the same kids who have a problem with equality within these states or whatever they say it. But these same children, when he told them, children in other places are, I wouldn't say call these people children. They're young adults. These same young adults, when they heard 12-year-olds were making their phones for 14 hours a day, they are literally on their phones in class, like right now. That's what I be talking about, y'all. Like, people are so fake woke or fake, I don't know the right word for it. It's just crazy. They're on their phones right now. In the front of the class, she's on her phone.
To everybody who is involved in Thon. Can you go to one more slide? One more. So this is Melissa. And Melissa is a young woman who showed up at Ernso's church when she was, Ernso, how old was she? Like 12 or something?
Oh, Melissa was about 12.
Yeah.
When she came to our church.
And she wanted to learn English. She came to his church because she just wanted, and she had a really vibrant personality, her and her twin sister. And so Melissa, Ernso said, he was in Social 19, and he said, can we just sponsor her to go to finish her grade school out and then finish high school out, and then let's put her through college. And we said, yeah, let's do it. So we had projects for years and years and years, and she became a doctor.
A doctor.
So that's her operating on somebody, and that's her on the left. And like, awesome. And that's like what students in 119 did.
That's what I'm talking about, bro. This is what I'm talking about, bro. This is what they call opportunity. Every child, every college student in America has this ability. They don't need to be sponsored. And of course, disclaimer, of course, some people have it easier than others. Obviously, some people have it easier than others. That kind of goes without being said. But in these states, everybody has the opportunity to go to college. Or if you don't want to go to college, you can get a trade. Or if you don't want to get a trade, you can start a business. You can literally do whatever you want here. And this is something that we ignore so much. We literally act like this just doesn't exist. But meanwhile, you have other people who were learning English by the time they were 12 and somehow made it through American education system and became a freaking doctor. Anyways.
But now, Ernso, you have another idea.
Yeah. First of all, Social 119 been sponsoring Melissa to become a doctor for so many years. Now she's finished. She's doing her social work right now at the General Hospital in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. And now we want to take this thing a little further. Because sustainability, that's what I always tell people. Now we want to build a clinic where Melissa can work as a doctor and supporting the community like on a day-to-day basis. Now we are working with Melissa so she can practice her medicine, and then we can support the people like in the community by having like a clinic, a lab, and a pharmacy, and be able to run some regular tests. If there's some major thing that we cannot do, we can direct them to other private hospital, because healthcare in Haiti is the most expensive thing there are. And then any way we can achieve that goal, That's what we want to do, because the project is to help Melissa.
These children, I mean, I keep saying children because they're young. These young adults could literally care less about what he's talking about. Like, I love when the camera pans across the room and you see like half the class with their heads down on TikTok or YouTube or whatever they're on. It is so crazy because they talk about real stuff and they just don't care. And this is what I see. This is what I see when I watch these type of videos. Of course, I'm not bashing the professor or the class at all. I think he's a good professor. But what I see is people who are fake freedom fighters. Like, you pretend like you care about these issues. You pretend like you want equality or whatever, or that it doesn't exist. But when they're talking about people who genuinely do not have equality, half the class is literally on their phone, wearing the clothes that other children made, or on the phone that other children made. It's like, bro, this is what I see.
Become a doctor. Now she's a doctor. Let's take it a little further now, is by helping her, not only for herself, but for family, but also for the community to go further in her career.
And
that's what we are doing right now. We want to start in June. We'd like to start a clinic in Port-au-Prince area where people can come as a very low cost. They can have medical care for the people.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Ernso, the reason I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to go back to what you think about the answer.
Half the class is literally on their
three
phones.
Students had. I just want to make sure that we had enough time. So the goal, what we're looking for, is somebody, family, anybody who wants to really participate in helping to build this somehow, contributing to it in a serious way, not just a couple dollars here and there, but really a serious way. And a couple dollars is fine, but you understand, right? So the message to you all is like, hey, maybe you want to kind of participate in this. Maybe this is something that you want to go into medicine and you want to do this, or maybe your family. But it's a lot of fun working with Ernso, and it's a lot of fun meeting people, because there's nothing like working with Haitians.
Bro, this class obviously couldn't care less about doing any of that. They don't care. Like, when they found out about the issues, he basically said, well, it's nothing I can do about it. It's not even in my realm of reality. He not finna make no GoFundMe for these children. He don't care. Not attacking him as a person. I don't know. But I'm saying for the majority of people, they don't care. I can see it. I care more about it than they do. Y'all probably care more about it than these students. It is crazy because a lot of people who watch these type of videos are more right-leaning or conservative. And you're the ones who were always taught that you don't care about this. You are very individualistic. You don't really care about this. I don't even know what socialism means. I'm not gonna lie. But you don't really care about the group movements. You don't really care about that. But y'all will probably be more prone to donate than these students who are literally on their phones in class while learning about it. It's just crazy, man. But I'm gonna end this video right here. If you have any more suggestions for me, comment down below. It's LFR Jojo, and I'll see y'all next one. And make sure y'all subscribe.